For 26 of the last 27 years, I've taken stock at year's end and expressed my thoughts and perceptions in poetry. In 2000, I added photographs, and thus the work became what I call poemography. Like others before it, this year's is a 6-part soliloquy in rhymed pentameter. I hope you enjoy. The months pre-election felt like a race towards a cliff, unsure if we'd stop before going over the edge. I think the place we are in now isn't any more sure, a cliffhanger, if you will, as we stay tuned for the next episode. If current events were part of a Netflix pitch, they would, I am willing to wager, be sent packing as too implausible. True, the November results were heartening, but whether the speed to the cliff was just decreased a bit or stopped entirely is what nurses my worries still. Throughout the West, hate and division are on the rise. How do love, peace, justice, freedom manifest in the spark-ready atmosphere of now? When these values were last challenged on a global scale, when the German-Japanese war machine raged, it was America that secured victory. Given the ease with which hate and lies have been digested of late, I'm wondering, who'd stop us if the next election sees us infested with fascism? If we go off the cliff? Yeah, I'm a big worrier. I'll own it. But hey, not only is it in my genes, law school, then years of practice distilled it to rather a fine art. When I saw scenes of Germany in the 30s, I would wonder if I'd have had the sense to get out when I could, when the going was good, or at least not as bad as it would get. That loop played frequently, incessantly maybe even, until the election. I'm happy to report its frequency has dialed way down, and the selection of my exile no longer churns. But the ease with which the ties that bind are blithely being severed means no matter where we land on the flip side of present crazy has to be markedly different than it was when this began. Smarter people than me have argued that we'd seen nasty shit in this country before, and we're still standing. Maybe so, but the combination of greed and technology deranging the populace now creates a nation we've never seen. Times, they are a-changing. A Harvard prof tells us that life on Earth is improving by nearly every major measure that counts. Our lifespans, birth to death, are longer. Our safety, very much improved. We're happier, more secure economically than was the case in the 17th century. To be sure, that's pretty far back in time to begin the measure, given all that's happened since. But more recently, our world in data argues that facts actually evince even wider improvement and at a more rapid clip. Since 1990, they report, daily breaking news headlines might have celebrated that, quote, since yesterday, the number of those suffering the blight of extreme poverty fell by more than 130,000, close quote. And that fact is one of myriad ways that humankind has evolved and improved, the impact of which has largely been seen in our time. I suppose that headline wouldn't ignite newspaper sales. But I think it's sublime, just knowing that something's going so right. I lived through the AIDS epidemic. Dear friends, wonderful men, young and in their prime, withered and died. Senseless, horrific. Clearly not a good thing about it. The time of the Holocaust was evil incarnate. Hell on earth. But on the heels of the first, marriage equality came law in state after state, while the Holocaust's end nursed the state of Israel's birth. One was withstood, the other was celebrated. What I'd say was bad led to what I'd say was good. Like the old tales villager who replied, "We'll see," to his neighbors who classified events that befell him as one or the other. It's all of a piece. They are tied, these disparate ends, inextricably. This perception comes and goes. But given the menu of human experience and circumstance, passion and ambition, values and opinions, my acceptance of the fact that all this will forever be the fabric of our journey is long overdue. What's also true? Whatever, whenever, wherever, love will belong. They tell us that worry causes stress and stress is toxic. So if I found a way to worry less, I would better withstand whatever this life ride might send my way. As the rants at the start attest, my mind isn't quiet. It has some very strong preferences about how humankind should best evolve, what's right, and more, what's wrong. I'm pretty sure the universe's plan isn't designed to honor my choices. The opportunity? See if I can divorce my well-being from the voices of judgment. Those preferences may be there, but having how I am governed by whether what I'd like comes to pass in the real world leaves my state to fate. Quoting my dear departed friend Bobby, totally committed, completely detached. Acting in ways authentic to my heartily felt values and mores, not reacting in response, but keeping my ecosphere calm and steady. Easy? Not for anyone, and certainly not for a career worrier, but a worthy climb to me. The mind's awareness of duality in the real world creates preferences. Hot needs cold, up needs down, bad needs good. To see one, the other must be seen too. That's not changeable. The cast of duality, all of it, will have a role to play in whatever manner a society opts to organize itself. Underpinning much of my relationship with society was something that I now see as an impossibility. There's no way humankind will ever fully eliminate hate, for we'd also lose love, or fear, because hope won't die. We'll never get better, we couldn't, because all of this is the ride and will be forever. I govern my own experience, though. So yes, I want good news. It feeds me. Yes, and passionate though I am, I'll also look to see in every moment the blessing being offered, preference aside. For we often have little to no say in what comes to pass, but we have a wide choice in our response. I am in the way.